So today I want to talk about some things. I've heard patients and I've heard friends and family members talk about, the vaccine. Do I take one dose? After I take both doses, can I take my mask off? And just a number of questions that Americans need to know if we're going to get completely through this and get back to normalcy. And I think these questions that I've been hearing, I think I would like to address them, that the community that follows me, and so you kind of have a good idea of what's really going on. Let's talk about one of the things that I've heard the most. Which vaccine is the best? You want to get whichever vaccine is available. And really, we don't have a choice. If your community says your appointment is on Friday at 5 o'clock and you'll be getting Pfizer, that is the vaccine that you'll be getting. But just to give you a little bit of detail about is Pfizer better than Moderna better than Johnson & Johnson, and etc. Remember when we talked about Moderna and Pfizer? They are messenger RNA vaccines. Their efficacy was 94 and 95%, really high. And then months later here comes Johnson & Johnson. Efficacy 66%. Doesn't sound like it's as good as the Moderna and Pfizer. Johnson & Johnson, when they did their clinical study, they actually took patients from South Africa, where that variant, that bad variant that was really causing a lot of problems in South Africa, they took participants from there, they took participants from Latin America, they took participants from the US. And so Johnson & Johnson's clinical trial was different from Moderna and Pfizer. However, when you look at all three of the vaccines, they all will keep people from dying and keep people from going to the hospital. I'm not going to go into the details of how that occurs, because I've talked about it if you go back to the videos. But we know that all three vaccines do a good job at keeping people from entering into the hospital and also keep people from dying. And that's what we want to get under control. We don't want people going to the hospital. We don't. Remember back in the summer, ventilators, and they were having to use other sites for ventilators, and just the whole, it was terrible. All three vaccines work. They work well. And I think now what we have to do, our job, the vaccines are available, our job is to take the vaccines. Because if we don't take the vaccines, then we run the risk of these variants. In other words, if everyone in the United States was vaccinated, or either, let's say there was a percentage of people that had been infected and the rest of the people got the vaccine. So essentially everybody's immune. And so now the variant comes along and it can't cause as much problem. We may have to do a booster of one of the vaccines, but we're pretty much protected against death and hospitalizations and people being on ventilators. So the key thing here is to get vaccinated. One important thing is as of March the 12th, there were about 30 to 35 million people in the United States who had been infected by COVID-19. Actually got the infection and was sick. Also, same time, there's been about 39.4 people who have received the vaccine. So if you add those numbers together, you have about 70 million people in the United States who have been vaccinated or who have immunity. They have protection. So if you take those 70 million people, and we know there's about 330 million people in United States, that's about 21% of the Americans are immune. And we know that we talked about herd immunity, and that's where we have about 70 to 80%, not 21, but 70 to 80% of the population immune. How are we going to get to herd immunity? We're right about 21, let's say 25% of the American people are immune. We know that just recently, last night or night before, I think Biden had said by May, adults that would be eligible for the vaccine they would have the vaccine. Adults eligible for the vaccine will be there. They've made deals with all three companies, and we will have, if things go as as they have been outlined, we will have plenty of vaccine for people. If we embrace the science and get vaccinated, people, go ahead and get the vaccine, then I'm going to say by the fall, we should be at herd immunity. 70% of the people should be immune if we keep doing what we're supposed to do. Every day, we are vaccinating here in the United States about 2 million people per day. So let's just keep that going. And here's the other thing, Dr. White's orders. Now, my orders are for me and my patients. Take the information that I'm giving you and take it to your primary care physician and have a conversation about what he or she recommends for you. Actually, take it to your provider, because there's doctors, nurse practitioners, physician assistants. Take it to them and talk to them about it. I am giving you what I have read about and things that I have talked to other doctors and providers about. You take it to your primary care physician and talk to them about it. All of that was important because I've been hearing these things, and I want people to know and try to be as accurate as possible, although we all know these things are changing every day. But for today, it's March the 14th. And our videos run one week behind, only because it has to be edited and all of that. But for March the 14th, this is the information that I have looked at. I want you to stay safe, be safe. I'll see you next week. Comments, comment section, hit the like button, and do become a subscriber. We'll see you next week.